Yeah, you're slumming with a fat chick. You're cheating on a supermodel with the girl that works at the Dairy Queen. I don't understand why you're doing that. Damn it. I am a grown-ass man. Hey, everybody, welcome to the MURCA Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just an open chat between me and my viewers. It's also a place you can come and chat with other viewers. Ask any question you want to ask, suggest whatever topic you want to suggest. Nothing's limits. You know, we center more on guns, cars, wrestling, comics, cryptids, things like that. But, you set the topic. And remember, if I can't answer it, there's a lot of people in here. Maybe some of them can. So feel free to ask what you want to ask, technical, whatever. I like to start the chat every day with reading the names of people that have purchased merchandise over on my Shopify store, because that does go to support Pets and Vets or TYMP, depending on what you buy. Generally, TYMP, there's some special stuff right now that's supporting Pets and Vets because we got a shortage there. We got Timmy Gage. He became a captain in the K9 unit. You can go over now and just buy a shirt, become a captain in our official captain in the K9 unit. I'm going to start a list for that. I need to do that, like a scroll to put at the end of some of my videos. So I will be doing that soon, hopefully, once we get enough people. Only like 3 people right now. Who else became? Graham Fortier Dubois. That's a real name. They also became a captain. Well, there's a lot of people becoming captains today. And then Jose Vega got the I Support the Right to Arm Bears shirt. So that supports Pets and Vets. Well, all those support Pet and Vets, actually, because they all are in the new merchandise section on the page, and they all have a mantle on the front. Remember, if it's got nipples, then it counts Pets and Vets shirt just for this month. All right. With that being said, let's get to the questions. Dale Rickety chimed in and said, ahoy! He's having his tugboat captain fantasy today. Christopher Jones chimed in and says, which trains you better, pistol rifle classes or IPSC 3 gun? Well, I guess it really depends on what you want to be trained in. Like, what's your main concern? I mean, some things you're not going to get as much training in certain areas, and so I guess it really depends what you think is what you need, what you think you need, because it's going to be different for everything. If you want to be well-rounded, I guess get a little bit of everything. But yeah, I'm not that well-rounded. I'm not that interested. But I don't think I could say which one would actually train you better. I think you're asking, like, taking a dedicated pistol class versus, I'm thinking about being engaged in something like 3-gun or IPSC. Well, it depends on how often you do it. I mean, a pistol class taken once or twice ain't going to do nothing. If you take what you learned in that class and you repeat it a couple of times a week or every week or at least a couple of times a month, whatever. Well, then that'll do you a lot of good, as much good as however you compete in a 3-gun or whatever. And in fact, I think it'll be more so because it'll be more geared towards self-defense, where 3-gun's not really as much geared towards self-defense. So I think it really is going to matter on how often you put those skills to use. If you're shooting 3-gun every week, well, you're going to develop some more reflexes from that. If you're taking one class, well, if you don't repeat it again and again, you're not doing you a whole lot of good. I hope that's an acceptable answer. Johnny Mandrick chimed in and said, what gun have you looked at recently that was disappointing? Oh, disappointing. That's a hard question. Because, there are always something you see and you're like, yeah, I don't think I want that. I know certainly recently, that Dan Wesson gun that's kind of like a 1911 with no grip safety, or what, a DWX or whatever it's called. That always disappoints me every time I see it. Every time I see it, every time I see it, I want it. But then every time I start thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, this is not really that special. And then I don't want it. And then I see it again and I want it again. But a little disappointed in that. But I don't really know of anything lately that's come out that I was real disappointed in. I will have to say I'm a little disappointed in the Viper. The grip is just not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. I wish it'd be more comfortable. But other than that, nothing that I've been really super disappointed in, because most guns, I have enough experience and knowledge to look at something and go, here's probably going to be the issues with it, and here's probably what's going to be good about it. And I usually keep a pretty realistic impression of what a gun's going to be. I have that realistic first impression. So I'm not disappointed all that often. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised a lot either nowadays, but not disappointed a lot, because it's like with that new semi-automatic shotgun, shorty shotgun. I'm like, well, a lot of these guns have trouble with light loads, even when they're up against your shoulder. Having it not against your shoulder is going to increase that chance. And if they make it to where it's really reliable with light loads, that's going to make it unreliable with really heavy loads. So you have to choose, is it going to be more of a fun gun, or is it going to be a practical gun? And how big is the middle ground? If they find the middle ground, how much of the two extremes do they encompass? And a lot of people just freak out like, you don't know, you can't. Blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I've shot enough shotguns to know that this is an issue. Some of my really nice shotguns have problems with birdshot. The one I got right here, this thing does not shoot well with birdshot. So, yeah. And now pump action ones, yeah, they do fine. But a lot of semi-autos don't. I don't think a lot of people shot semi-automatic shotguns because they don't understand, the things you can predict with them. There we got Micah D chiming in. Because Paul needs a hand, your opinion on Nevada passing an assault weapons ban? SCOTUS could have ended this shit a long time ago. 2 cases sit in front of them. They're not taking it up to 11 states now have assault weapons ban. Yes, it's like I said, the power never wants to give back rights. And the Supreme Court is part of the government. They're part of the power, and they don't want to give you back rights. They want to play political sides and keep people divided, but they don't really want to have results. And it becomes more and more obvious all the time. It's like I try to tell people that people that are like, oh, we've got to keep Republicans power, they'll do the right thing, or we got to keep Democrats power, they'll do the right thing. I'm like, well, have you ever noticed when the Democrats are in power, they'll take away things like gun rights, but then the Republicans come back in and they don't give them back? And have you ever noticed when the Republicans get in power, they'll do things to benefit the 1%, and the Democrats will scream, but then when they get in power, they don't take it away from them. They don't give it back to the people because they're just fine with it too. All you're doing is, it's not really Democrat and Republican. It's industrialists and oligarchs is what you're fighting against. And neither one of them want you to have your rights, neither the industrialists nor the oligarchs, especially not the oligarchs, because there's very few of them. And they know that you can't have an armed and populace if you want to maintain that 1% divide. And the corporatists, they don't want you to be able to fight back or have choices or anything else. So they need to keep you weak and tired and, everything else. And that's what people need to realize and quit playing the left and right Republican Democrat bullshit. Who was it? That was Chris Snyder, wasn't it? Michael Santorsola says, I worry about taking the New York City subway. Anything can happen and will. Happy to carry, even though not allowed to carry on subway. If I lived in New York City, I'd be carrying illegal like a motherfucker. I'm sorry. I would not trust that place, or else I would only go very safe places. I definitely wouldn't get on the subway or anything. Stephen Elbert. Probably the main reason is the way the young ones act, but also am wary when a car slows when I'm walking my pups. I don't trust anybody I don't know. I just don't trust anybody. I don't even trust half people I know. That was Stephen Elbert. Jason Thompson, Officer Taterhater, pays $2 tithe to Phil and said, I sent more emails. One in particular featured a group of people who really should not breed. They are no different than the Thin Blue Line bootlicker crew. I didn't see that one. I saw the one you sent today about the hypocrisy and didn't see that one though. I'll look at them later. Then we got Jay Lugo. Well, this is a weird amount. Is this like a purchase or something? If you has to guess what carry guns are being overlooked, whether it be caliber or maybe they aren't tactical or flavor of the month. Oh, well, I think still one of the most overlooked guns for carry, a car. These people who want to carry a small carryable gun, cars are awesome, and they often get overlooked. Revolvers are highly overlooked, even though they'd be a better carry gun for 90% of the people. So that's a genre of guns, I guess, a classification of guns. And I think I've started giving Beretta more love nowadays, but they used to be highly overlooked a while there. Oops, I'm still on top chat. Let me get it. I'm still on fan voting. Let me get that on top chat or live chat. Where was we over here? That was Jay Lugo, was Heavy J. All right, so now I can get over here. We got Jacoby chiming in over here, who said, I'm cheating on my 686 with another girl, a Ruger SP01. Well, that 101, that's a downgrade. You're slumming it with a fat chick. Am I a naughty boy now? It's the next governor of New York State going to be pro 2A. I doubt it. But not really. They might pretend to be, depending on no matter what party they're in. Yeah, you're slumming with a fat chick. You're cheating on a supermodel with the girl that works at the Dairy Queen. I don't understand why you're doing that. I guess some guys just got to get their wick wet somewhere. They got to get some strange. But you're cheating. You're going the wrong way. Let's see here. I think that catches us up on all the supers. Let me see if we got any emails coming in here. I got to present. Share screen. Window. We got one here. This is from Eddie G AOE-4. He got him a, what's up, Yankee? I picked up a new Glock 19 Gen 3 today. Well, that looks nice. And he's got a really nice sticker there to go with it. Or I think that's a magnet, actually. So to be honest with me, does this gun make me look crazy? Well, does it? You know, I got a shirt like that, and hardly anybody's ever bought it. I think it's sold 2. And one of them was just like the other day. I got several shirts that have my face on them, and no one wants them. I think it's starting to make me feel ugly. We got another one here that says, want to buy one of these for driving in town around $10,000 in Alaska, 6x6 and highway legal. Now, those would be kind of cool. I mean, those are obtainable. They're not like super, super duper expensive. Well, it depends on whether they allow them to be sent out into the populace or they destroy them. Because my grandfather's job with the Army used to be decommissioning vehicles and destroying them. And the only way he could legally let anybody even have a Jeep is he would take it apart, cut up the frame, and then allow people to weld it back together and take it, because they had to do all kinds of shit to it before they could let people have them. And they weren't even supposed to let people have them. They had to destroy them, but they would let them. He would destroy them in a way that someone knew what they were doing, could put them back together. Because you had to send, they had to take photographs of the frame being cut in half and all this other stuff. Tanks, they had to show that they cut the barrel off and filled the interior of the tank with cement and then buried it. They had all kinds of weird rules. I mean, like, just recycle the metal at the very least. But nope, out where I live, there's tons of tanks buried in the ground filled with cement. I got to drive some of them into the hole when I was a kid. Where are we at? I'm on the wrong thing entirely here. Why am I looking at that? Let me get over here. Was there another email? I think there was another email. Where did it go? Share screen, window. Aha, there it is. Share. Oh, I've got this up. I need to get this down. Cop said this is not a bullet hole. 2, 4. What? What is that on? Is it one of them bullet hole stickers? Did he stick it on his car? Or I don't know what you're, or is he, would they do an investigation, say that's not a bullet hole? I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's get back over to the chat here. See what we got going on. I got it on live chat, so let's see. Limited space, yes, a block from the police department. Okay. We should do a vehicle video like we did for the EDC guns. I'll show off my Ferrari. We could. I mean, I don't got a problem with that. The Browning 45 does well with most 12 gauge loads. Wouldn't work with the shortest shotgun shells. Yeah, the shorties are a problem in a lot of things. Now, of course, they work in my little Mossberg Gatekeeper, which is the Shockwave for everybody else. They work in that. It's pump. I'm not seeing any malfunctions or anything. Bunch of those armored scout cars in Alaska from World War II, so kind of cheap, many times more expensive here in Washington. Yeah, where you're at makes a difference. Is that all the questions? Yeah, that's it. That's it over here. We got like no questions coming in. I'm on the main page over here. Why is it no questions? That's odd. And it won't let me go up. Yeah, it's not letting me. I mean, here, I'll share the. Hold on. Present. Share screen. Render. Like here, can y'all see? This is all we got. I just answered that one. And that's as far up as I can go. So there ain't no questions right now, hardly, except these two that just came in. That was 132 plate steel driven 9mm punched hole, but recovered bullet. Got a cop to show up. An idiot cop said was not a bullet hole. Assholes didn't want to do his job. Oh yeah, he just didn't want to work. There's a funny viral video of a groundhog blocking a lady's front door. She tells him to go away, and he presses his body against the glass door. And the lady, I saw that one. I watch a lot of animal videos. Am I on live chat or top chat? I thought I already put it on live chat once. Why is it on top chat again? It still won't let me. Oh, yeah, I am on live chat. I guess I just didn't put it on live chat soon enough. Because it's not given. I'm on live chat now. I was on live chat, I thought, and I put it on top. It went back to top chat. Now I'm on live chat, but it's still not showing anything. Several conventional artists says that they're being replaced by AI artists. Well, yeah, that is an issue. But to be fair, how many legitimate artists have you known over the last decade? Britney Spears, well, that's all auto-tune and shaking titties. Maroon 5, that's all gross garbage. Who else lately that's come out? It's just all auto-tune. It's just half of them are just auto-tune. And they can't sing live if their life depends on it. MSNB posted the headline, "The ATF is cracking down on senior citizens' gun collections." The article mentions one elderly couple who sold guns without a license. Talk about clickbait. Well, that's all that stuff's like that. And a lot of times nowadays I've noticed who's writing this shit because the titles don't make sense. Like it's really poor language or just has very little to do with what the real, and it's just, I'm like, is this AI and they just can't get it down yet? What's the problem? Let's see here. We got another chat from Jay Lugio. If you got tickets to one Fall Out Boy or Panic at the disco, which one you going to? P.S. I put the 69 because it's funny to me. Okay, that's weird. If I was going to go see Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco, well, Panic at the Disco isn't a group anymore, so that would be weird. Is Fall Out Boy still a group? I don't know if they're still together or not. I know Panic at the Disco is not. Because that Brendan Urie guy went off on his own after their last album sucked so bad, and they didn't want to do that album, and he kind of forced them to, and then it sucked. I don't know which one I'd rather go to. I mean, if let's just say both bands are still working, probably going to go to Panic at the Disco. I think I like more songs from them. But Fall Out Boy is good too. I like Fall Out Boy. I got no problem with them. They're good, mindless music. Emo, what do they call that? The emo pop. That's where they kind of got their start. I don't mind them. I don't think they're great. Their lead singer's actually got a voice. That's one of the ways you can tell that an artist is actually talented. When they're ugly as fuck, but they still have a career, it's a good sign. You look like Ed Sheeran and you can still sell tickets, well, then you probably can sing. But all these ones that are just pretty boys singing into an auto-tune machine, they're just not so impressive. Or big titties doing the same thing. But now there's some people that I did not like, but then I heard them sing live and I liked them. It's the reverse. There's so many I've seen live or try to sing live and they were awful. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not listening to them anymore. But there are a few that I've heard singing live and I went, oh God, they're awesome. Pink was one of those. I never really cared for Pink. And then I actually heard her perform live and I was like, good God, she's good. And watched her do a show where she did this whole adage thing. I was like, she's an entertainer galore, you know, so I like her now. Same thing with Miley Cyrus. Never liked her. Thought she was gross. Thought she was awful. And then I saw her do some live numbers with different artists. And I was like, well, she's actually got not the classic voice, but she's interesting and she's pretty good at what she does. So I thought more of her after that. We got an email that says it's from Jonathan Aho, but I don't think it is. It says, it's ironic that Star Trek came up yesterday. My wife came home from work with these. One of her employees is a big Star Trek fan. It's a big Trekkie and gave her these to her. And then there's no picture. See, dead people have a problem attaching pictures. There's no picture. And let me get back over to the chat real quick. You should see The Accountant 2. Have you seen the movie Alita? No and no. Don't care for action dramas or any of those things. Did you hear about the maniac in Vancouver, BC, who plowed his vehicle into a large group of Filipino migrants? Yes, I did. I actually mentioned it in the first part of the chat. Admit it, you want to watch Scissors. I think there's like, I'm going to say 3 songs by Scissor Sister I like. I've been to a Scissor Sisters concert. Went to one in downtown Portland in a small venue, and I'll tell you right now, other than those 2 songs I knew, I had no clue what they were singing about. And I had to spend most of the time going, this is awfully loud. Don't you think this is too loud? Because it was very, very loud. It was a small venue. I mean, they were like 50 feet from me. They didn't need to be so loud. Because we were in the balcony and we were still like only like 40, 50 feet from them. I'm like, this is very loud. They could turn that down. But yeah, I didn't mind Sisters at all. They had a couple popular songs. Twisted Sister. Now I'd go see Twisted Sister. I liked a lot of Twisted Sister stuff when I was younger. Stay away from Captain Howdy. Play away from Captain Howdy. I'm hearing progressive Catholics say it's time for a black pope. What's it matter what the color is? I don't get it. Talking about, switching things up, like, how they'll make some characters black when they're white and vice versa. Usually don't bother me, but they made the Silver Surfer a woman. And I'm like, I don't see a reason for that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Is it like women aren't getting roles in movies? I'm like, there's some women in the movie. One of the things I most don't like about it is she looks stupid. Because she's got this long, slicked back hair that's covered in silver. And I'm like, I would have been okay with you making Silver Surfer a woman if you'd shaved her head. because the whole notion of her having hair where her skin is silver and now somehow her hair is in a silver shell too. I don't like it. She shouldn't have any hair. She should just be silver, no hair, bald. I would be fine with that. I'd be like, okay, she's a woman, I can handle it. But the hair looks stupid. So I'm not happy about it. Is the name Scissor Sisters a euphemism? Well, it means lesbian scissoring is what it's based on. So I don't know if you call that a euphemism or not, but that's what it's based on. Let me make sure we're all caught up on the super chats because we don't got a lot of time left. We're all caught up over there. The owner of Camping World in Tennessee says he will not take down his oversized American flag even if he goes to jail. Well, then put him in jail. If it's a jailable offense. I mean, things like that exist, codes like that exist for a reason. They're dangerous. Like I said, we had an incident where a giant flag flew off a pole over here on, was it 405 or I-5? That's 205, I think, over there. And landed on a busy street, caused a major accident. People were hurt. I don't think anyone was killed. If he's breaking the law, if it's fines, fine him. If it's offense where, if you disregard the regulation or whatever, it can eventually be jail time. Well, then put him in jail. But if it's just fines, fine him. And then if he doesn't pay the fines, put him in jail. I mean, it's weird to think people take stands on. I read that. Could be worse, female Silver Surfer, redheaded and left-handed. Well, they wouldn't do that to anybody. But it's also, since she's female, it's okay that she's redheaded. I mean, females can be redheads. There's no problem with that. It's men. Redheaded men are an affront to nature. They're gross looking, and they're all covered in freckles. They're weird. Their skin is all pasty. That's okay on women. Women are supposed to have porcelain skin. Men aren't supposed to have porcelain skin covered with liver spots or whatever it looks like. For redheaded men, that's the problem. We should make it a law that redheaded men can't breed. What's that nice Gregorian chant sounding outro song you have at the end of your videos lately? I don't know what it's called. I just pulled it off of, the free sound website where it's like, no royalty sound, free to use kind of a thing. Aha, someone's got a picture attached now. Of course, it's attached at the wrong. I'm going to share this. This is what he said his wife got yesterday. Boom, boom. Look, it's Neelix. It's signed. Oh, Counselor Troy. And it's signed. I was just watching some clips with him in it yesterday. I wouldn't call myself a Trekkie, but I do like Star Trek. When people ask what's important to me, Star Trek or Star Wars, that's a really difficult question because, I grew up with Star Trek's been there since I was born, basically. And it was always part of my life. And there's been it was a more consistent part of my life. You go watch Star Wars, used to be you saw a 2-hour movie, and then that was all you saw for another couple of years. Star Trek was there every day, pretty much. And then different movies, different series, different movie, different series. Nowadays, you got Star Wars series, but that wasn't me growing up. I didn't have those. So I was like, well, Star Trek was a bigger part of my life, but I think overall contribution to the zeitgeist society when I was a kid was Star Wars. Because, there wasn't anybody that wasn't well aware of Star Wars. I mean, there's no one that doesn't know Star Trek either, hardly. But at that point in time, every kid was a fan. Every kid. So it was quite a thing to go through. You don't really see that as much anymore, where something just takes over like that. It is so popular. Sat in church for hour, record, LOL. I bet. No, I didn't. I got it off of a free site. The intro music in your video sounds like the Greek music playing from the old Greek ladies radio in the Exorcist movie. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in 40 years, probably. So I don't remember a whole lot about it, to be honest. I mean, I like horror movies. Horror is my favorite genre, but I'm not a big fan of like demon possession movies or supernatural stuff like that. I like if it's a monster, fine, but if it's like possession, demons, I'm not that interested. Ghosts, I'm not interested in ghosts at all. I want werewolves, uh, big killer crocodiles, something. I want something tangible and scary. I want Bigfoots and stuff like that. Sasquatches. I want stuff that you can see and that can eat you. I have to. So yeah, I'm not that big fan of The Exorcist. But that looks like we're out of time. Let me make sure we're caught up on all the chats. I do believe we are on all the supers. Yes. And yes. So I want to say thanks to everybody for showing up and participating. I appreciate it. I'll see you all again tomorrow, I hope. And like I said, thanks again for all the help y'all do for the channel. If you want to go buy some merchandise like Pete's Grindhouse that I'm wearing today, this is the Peg Leg Pete and from Steamboat Willie mashed up with Planet Terror. I like to do little mashups, and this is one of my favorites now. So if you want to get something like this or one of the other shirts we sell, go on over to the website. I think I've started to do my TYMP thing earlier and didn't do it. But never does any good anyway. It doesn't direct anybody over there. But if you want to go get something like this, go get it. If you want to become a member of the channel, please do so. If you want to, people who are channel members actually see the videos earlier. I've been trying to go up the night before for people that actually are members of the channel. You get to see them like 12 hours early. But not that matters. But I got to do something for them. But thanks, everybody, for everything you do. Like I said, I appreciate it. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe till I see you again.